Hello, Jim here again. Welcome back to the Contrary Fuchsia for another plant of the week. The weather isn't great this week. It's a complete contrast of last week's one. We're a bit overcast and a bit miserable, a bit rainy, but look, it is November. You can't expect the weather to be doing anything else. So this week's plant I'm bringing to you from Munger Park, which is just outside Limerick, and is a lovely little facility where you can walk around with your dog or a pram or children. There's a playground, you can probably see it in the background there. Fabulous playground in fact, and there's a gym, little thingy there, you can see it, and so you've got lots to do. And on a nice day, on a day that is not raining and not miserable, it's a fabulous place to come. Doesn't set the world on fire with regard to the plants that are on the place, but it's still lovely to come here, and well worth the journey around. As I say, cold and miserable, but the plant that I'm going to talk to you about is one called Ceratostigma plumbaginoides, and it is a salt. Strangely enough, it's a little shrub, but it's sold in the herbaceous perennial borders because it does die back somewhat, and it's small. So it's not a plant that you're going to plant into the ground as a standard. What I mean by a standard is a plant that stands on its own and will kind of give a big show on its own. It's too small for that. It only grows to about 50 centimetres height and spread. What's that, 2 feet, 2.5 feet, 2 feet? Yeah, about 2 feet. So it's not a very big plant. So you're going to plant it in clumps of 4 or 5, and you can use it. Say if you have a clump of trees, say something that's behind me here, and you can see various clumps of trees. Underplant those trees with Ceratostigma and it looks absolutely fantastic. It's got the most gorgeous gentian blue flowers, and that's every time I look at plants and I see blue flowers, I'm always kind of taken back by it, because it's not really a colour you associate with nature, is it really? I don't think. But it's absolutely, but of course it is. It's a perfectly natural colour. Really gorgeous. The extended period you get from it is an extended flowering period over the summer, and then you get the leaves will give you autumn colour. Will give you autumn colour as they go through the season, then just die off for the winter, and then you're back into the spring. So Ceratostigma, the name itself comes from keras, which is Greek for horn, and stigma is the stigma of the plant. So horned stigma is the first name, and plumbaginoides simply because it looks like plumbago, and it is a member of the plumbago or Plumbaginaceae family of leadwort, which lends it its common name of blue plumbago, leadwort, blue leadwort, but call it Ceratostigma plumbaginoides. It likes good soil, but not waterlogged soil. It will not tolerate being waterlogged at all, or cold soil. So if you have a heavy soil that kind of holds the cold a bit longer, it won't do well in that. Give it a bit of sun. Like all plants, when you plant it in first, you need to water to establish itself, and it should be pretty much okay after that. You can propagate it quite easily once you've got an established plant by taking stem cuttings early in the year, semi-ripe stem cuttings earlier in the year. You can also take rhizome cuttings, so take it from the roots, find buds on the roots, cut out the side of the bud, and use that to propagate in the autumn. You can grow it from seed, but growing from seed, I'm told by the real experts, is not a very reliable way to actually produce plants. But the easiest way to do it is in autumn, when the plant is dying back, October, November time, even into winter, and divide the plant, split it in two, either with 2 forks back to back or a spade. That's the best way to divide your plant, and spread the love amongst your friends and neighbours, family. Let them have a little bit of Ceratostigma. So that's it. That's this week's plant, Ceratostigma plumbaginoides, from the beautiful surrounds of Munger College here in Limerick. And I'll talk to you next week for another plant of the week.